Hi, welcome back. In the last episode we raced at Australia and achieved 4th position during the reset day we had the second race of the season, China. This is a log to show and record my progress through F1-25. I have set the difficulty at 75% and hope to be increasing this as needed. Into first practice we go. So this time we have 3 practice programs to complete. We'll analyze each program at the end of the session.
Hello and welcome to Free Practice 1 from Shanghai International Circuit here in China. Now, over 20 years ago, this reclaimed marshland became a state-of-the-art facility that has borne witness to some of the most crucial and compelling moments in racing history. Today, it's all about gathering data for the tyres in these cool temperatures.
Race strategy challenges are drive a lap without leaving the track, achieve competitive cornering speeds, and drive a clean sector. Fuel management challenges are drive a lap without leaving the track, complete a lap using minimal fuel, and drive a clean sector. And finally, tire management challenges are activate DRS in all zones, achieve below average tire wear, and drive a clean sector. Firstly, let's look at setup. I have a personal car setup that I have used prior and feel comfortable with as the game is so new. This could be looked into further and tweaked for better balance. I have selected front arrow is 3.9, rear wing is 3 to diff on is 90, diff off is 10, front camber is -3.5, rear camber is -2, front toe out is 0.0, rear toe out is 0.1. Front suspension is 37, rear suspension is 1, front anti-roll is 1, rear anti-roll is 7, front right height is 20 to rear right height is 45, front brake bias is 5, for brake pressure is 100, front tires are at 26 SI and rear tires are at 20 to SI. I will start with tire management first out by using a new soft tire. This allows me to have the most grip and the best chance at completing this objective. As shown, the soft tire is capable of doing 12 laps of this track. However, we need to decide in practice when the tire has lost its performance and is ready to be switched in the race for another compo. I've achieved second place in the speed trap by traveling at 203 mph.
Program complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can take you through the numbers.
Starting this program I have 4.97 laps of fuel. At the end I have 4.04 laps of fuel, meaning I have used 0.93 per conservative lap. Secondly, I will complete fuel management using the same soft tire again. It shows it has 9 laps remaining. By lifting early before the braking points I am able to save fuel. This is most prominent into turn 1 and 14 as you are traveling at the highest speed and using the car's aerodynamics to slow the car.
In this program, we want you to focus on your fuel saving technique. Lift and coast through corner entries to save as much as you can whilst keeping under the minimum lap time.
Starting this program with the same soft used tires, the degradation figures are: front left is at 19%, front right is at 14%, rear left is at 19%, rear right is at 16%. First try I am able to complete the 3 challenges, but I am too slow. I have also noticed that my straight line speed seems to be lacking now. This may be due to tire wear or too much drag or downforce. This is clear to see as I am losing lots of time on the straights. By the end of this practice program, tire degradation figures are: front left is at 26%, front right is at 21%, rear left is at 27%, rear right is at 25%.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
Lastly, to complete race strategy. Using the same soft tire again, it shows it has 6 laps remaining. I have a warning stating that this is an unsuitable tire for this program due to its wear. Will continue with the soft compound tire. This is so I can see how the tire feels with low grip and to test whether I can still achieve competitive lap times with this tire. Initial wear is front left is at 36%, front right is at 31%, rear left is at 38%, rear right is at 35%. Setting doors deployment to hot lap will ensure I am not overusing those throughout the 3 laps. Second lap down the back straight, I managed to hit third through the speed trap, traveling at 208 mph. After lap 3 it is clear to see where we are losing grip on tires. Front left is at 52%, front right is at 41%, rear left is at 53%, rear right is at 49%. Therefore my tire degradation over each lap is as follows: front left is degrading at 5.3% each lap. Front right is degrading at 3.3% each lap, rear left is degrading at 5% each lap, and rear right is degrading at 4.6% each lap. By leaning the car more onto the right side, I can hopefully cause more of the right side tires to degrade, and thus helping to protect the left side tires. This would be beneficial throughout the race as it would let my tires have better performance. Though the stint, I could also have a play with the brake bias. By shifting this it would allow me to decide whether to use more of my front or rear tires. This can help during the race to stay in a competitive window of racing amongst other cars. That's it. Now let's analyze the results. Tire degradation seems okay. I was getting better as the laps continued. I am below the pace line, which is positive. This shows I am quicker than the projected time. This also shows I can maintain competitive lap times using old soft tires. Fuel management seems okay too. I am losing a little on the straights shown in red dots. Sector 1 can also be improved. By lifting early before turn 1 and turn 14 I am able to save on fuel. Tire management, this also seems good as most of the areas are purple. Sector 1 can be improved again by driving smoothly, being gentle on the throttle and brakes with no aggressive inputs. Fuel usage equals 0.93 per lap. For my tire degradation over each lap is as follows: front left is degrading at 5.3% each lap, front right is degrading at 3.3% each lap, rear left is degrading at 5% each lap, and rear right is degrading at 4.6% each lap.
And if today's practice is anything to go by, we're in for an exceptional weekend of Formula One.
At the end of this session I am in 15th position. By completing all the practice programs I have gained 300 resource points. I have also managed to increase my experience and rating. Let's head into sprint qualifying.
Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
I've managed to qualify in 7th position.
For sprint qualifying, plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend, so we'll see you all tomorrow.
This has increased my overall rating to 67. Let's head into the sprint.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Shanghai International Circuit then is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience. The flats open to the elements location test their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Piastri, Patel, Sainz, Albon and Yuki Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Antonelli, Pierre Gasly, Doohan, Fernando Alonso, Lawson, Lance Stroll and Gabriel Bortoleto. Ocon and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Look, we know it's not where you start, it's where you finish, but let's talk about the start now. What's there to help the drivers get away well?
Big pressure at the start of the race, Crofty, for all of them up and down the grid, no matter where you are. But the drivers these days, they practice, practice and practice. They have rigs with them at the circuit where they can sit down with the actual steering wheel from the real car, and they've got lights that they react to. The clutch paddle is tailored around the driver's hands, around their fingers, so they can have optimum position before they start. So there's so much thought and effort that goes into getting these cars off the line.
We've got a great chance of getting another points finish in this race. Keep it clean and hopefully we can work our way up the field.
Race strategy. I have selected 0.2 laps of extra fuel and have chosen the medium compound. Starting the race, I have a good launch. I'm taking a wider line to avoid cars on the inside. Late braking into turn 4, I'm able to pass Sainz and Piastri. I'm into P6.
Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward.
Using ERS on the back straight to maintain position, Piastri has the toe. Without any DRS he is able to pass me. Maybe my setup for the race could be tweaked to have a higher top speed and less drag. Late. Braking a maintain P6.
We can now use DRS. DRS now available.
Starting lap 2, gap to the car ahead Leclerc is to 0.5 seconds. Keeping ERS deployment on medium and using overtake on the main straights I am able to close the gap. Starting lap 3, gap to the car ahead Leclerc is 1.1 seconds. I've managed to get into DRS range of Leclerc but my battery is low. Late braking into turn 14 and taking avoiding action I lose time.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 9.9 seconds.
Starting lap 4, gap to the car ahead Leclerc is 1.3 seconds. By having ERS in medium I am able to recharge my battery.
Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push.
Starting lap 5. Gap to the car ahead Leclerc is 0.8 seconds. To save more energy I am switching between no and medium ERS deployment.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Starting lap 6. Gap to the car ahead Leclerc is 0.5 seconds.
Okay mate, this is the final lap of the race. Final lap.
Final lap. Gap to the car ahead Leclerc is 0.3 seconds. Down the inside of turn 1 to overtake Leclerc, into P5. Tries are starting to go as shown, they are near 30% worn. Glad I started on the medium.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Finishing in 5th place.
Well, that's an end to the sprint action. Next up, we'll set the grid for the Grand Prix. So we'll see you next time.
This has increased my overall rating. Now back into qualifying for the race.
Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
Into 7th position. Now for the race.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Albon, Russell, Oscar Piastri and Hamilton, Patel, Tsunoda, Norris and Nico Hülkenberg, Doohan, Ocon, Gabriel Bortoleto and Lawson, Hadjar, Stroll, Carlos Sainz and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Gasly, and Fernando Alonso rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was. They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that there's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. So we're getting close to the start of the race. What will this driver be experiencing? Big nerves? Big excitement? What?
Always extra nerves at the start of the race. Probably at the start of the race is where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation, and you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car, what can go right? How can I be opportunistic rather than what can go wrong, and how do I protect my position? Look forward and stay positive. It's easy to say, very hard to do when you're in that position.
Okay, let's see if we can keep this momentum up. Let's get another points finish.
Since I felt comfortable on the medium tire during the sprint and will choose the alternative strategy since China has high tire wear. Managing fuel is key and will be starting with 0.3 of extra fuel. Good start. Using the inside of turn 1, I am able to pass Hamilton and Albon. Late braking into turn 4, getting past Leclerc.
That start was okay, now stay alert for threats around you. Okay, DRS is now available.
Let's keep going, hoping for a podium starting lap 2. Gap to the car ahead Piastri is 0.6 seconds.
Look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past.
I have kept DRS at medium deployment and I am using hot lap deployment during the longer straights. This will hopefully help me reserve battery. Starting lap 3. Gap to the car ahead Piastri is 0.8 seconds. This time during Sector 2, I choose to have no ERS deployment. That way I'm able to charge the battery back up to 100% time for the attack.
A second a lap on the car behind. Really good stuff.
Starting lap 4. By using the slipstream DRS and by having ERS deployment on overtake, I am able to pass Piastri down the inside of turn 1. Into third position. Battery is on 80%, which is good for defense if needed.
And gap to the car in front, 1.7 seconds. Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy.
Russell is too far ahead and I am unable to gain DRS. However, Piastri behind has DRS and is able to pass me during the back straight.
You can win that place back.
Late braking into turn 14 and I am able to stay ahead of Piastri. Starting lap 5. Gap to the car ahead Russell is 1.7 seconds.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Okay, gap ahead, 2.2 seconds.
Piastri behind has DRS and is able to pass me during the back straight again late braking into turn 14 and I am able to stay ahead of Piastri.
Mercedes cars is next. Come on.
Starting lap 6, gap to the car ahead Russell is 2.2 seconds. Russell pulls away more. I'm having to defend from Piastri and this is costing me time in the long run. Piastri also manages to get past again on the start straight by having DRS. Late braking into turn 14 and I am able to pass Piastri again.
Great manoeuvre. You made it look so easy. Gap to your teammate behind, 11.8 seconds.
Starting lap 7, gap to the car ahead Russell is 1.7 seconds. Same again on the back straight. I am able to brake later and remain ahead.
We're approaching the pit window now and you're going to be on hards next time.
Batteries full again, let's push starting lap 8. Gap to the car ahead Russell is 2.4 seconds.
Okay, gap to the car in front, 2.9 seconds. Okay mate, Piastri's behind you now. It is critical for our race that we keep them behind, please. Push, push, use your overtake button, let's go. Right, I'm afraid we didn't quite meet our targets there, but don't worry about it. Get your head down and chin up, and let's focus on the rest of this race.
Starting lap 9, Russell on the soft compound comes into Patinto's second position. Gap to the car ahead 6.5 seconds. Tires feel as if they are starting to go.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good.
Into the pits end of lap 10. It's a good stop. Optimum turn-in, onto the hard compound.
There seems to be a problem attaching the left rear wheel. We need to try and put that behind us though, and let's finish this race strong. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Coming out of the pits into P9, I've managed to overcut Russell and he is 0.3 seconds behind on the medium tire dot. By having a full battery it gives me options to defend.
We've got a lot of...
Using ERS overtake down the back straight, and by late braking into turn 14 I'm able to pass Alonso. Lawson ahead pits.
Esteban's in for his stop now. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 1.5 seconds.
Starting lap 12. Gap to the car ahead Piastri is 1.7 seconds, has on the medium compound, and has managed to undercut us. Let's hunt him down again. Starting lap 13, gap to the car ahead Piastri is 1.9 seconds.
Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 2.2 seconds.
Fuel management seems good, so I will now start to view tire wear on the MFD. This way I can monitor wear through a lap. Starting lap 14, gap to the car ahead Piastri is to 0.3 seconds, as pulling away made the hard compound was the wrong choice.
Okay, mate, your lap times are all over the place right now. We've got to have consistency. Come on, we can do better than this.
Other cars on the medium compound are faster along the straights. Norris and Russell have DRS and pass me along the back straight. I am able to brake later into turn 14 and regain the position. Starting lap 15, gap to the car ahead Piastri is for 0.4 seconds. I have also been given a challenge. Achieve a competitive average lap time throughout 3 laps. This time Norris is able to get ahead again on the back straight, braking later into turn 14. I can regain the position. Starting lap 16, gap to the car ahead Piastri is 4.3 seconds.
Tyre condition still looking good. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 4.8 seconds.
I'm able to push and break DRS from the Norris behind. This will ultimately make it harder for him to overtake me. Starting lap 17, gap to the car ahead Piastri is 3.8 seconds.
Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more.
Starting lap 18, gap to the car ahead Piastri is 3.8 seconds.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead.
Starting lap 19, gap to the car ahead Piastri is for 0.1 seconds. Down the final straight, Norris passes again.
Okay, focus. We need to stay on form.
Braking late down inside into turn 14, I'm able to retake the position.
Okay, some information on Bortoletto. They're retiring from the race. Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap.
Last lap, lap 20, gap to the car ahead Piastri is 3 seconds. My tires feel good. Using this strategy I can see I am now faster than other cars on the medium.
Yes, mate, I'll take that. Well done. We're really happy with the podium down here, so well done. Yes!
Finishing the race in 3rd position, my first podium.
And in the end, there was no Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he takes victory.
A great display of dominance today, Crofty, by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them, and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've absolutely loved watching that action today, and I'm sure these three have loved taking part. Here come our podium finishers. One of the all-time greats celebrates yet again. It's another podium, it's another top step for Max Verstappen. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
I've managed to increase my overall rating to 68. And my recognition. I'm back home. Let's prepare for the next race. I've been given the opportunity to have a secret meeting with Racing Bull. I am happy with my current team and decline talks.
Hey, just a quick one for me. The team are pleased that you've declined that meeting. Gold star, brownie points, etc., etc. I guess we'll see if anything else more exciting comes calling, but let's focus on our current seat for now.
Next, I will select the specialist challenges for the next race weekend. Manufacturing expert is to complete 2 sessions without damaging the car. Wind tunnel engineer is to overtake 5 cars on track. Quality assurance tester is to complete a lap with 2 sets of tires in practice. And strategy analyst is to perfect 1 practice program. I am on target for contract performance. For research and development, I have put all the upgrades I can access into production. The car wear and engine lifespan are also good. During research, the front wing adjuster bracket has failed during production. I have selected it to be reinstated in production for 200 resource points. Also, the rear floor under tray has been completed. Now for the next race. If you have enjoyed watching, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.